I got into a Genesis. This is luxury. Whether it's a sleek G70 or the GV80 with that third row, these are high-end vehicles with payments that actually make sense. Go see Michael. Tell him Sid sent you. Genesis of Brooklyn. Find him at genesisofbrooklyn.com.
Let me get to Caroline Shinkle. She's running. It is District 12 in New York City for Congress. Caroline, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Sid. Thank you so much for having me on. It's such an honor. And I have to say, if I did have tickets to the game tomorrow night, you would be the first one to get them. So that's a promise to you.
I actually believe you. You were so excited to meet me, too, in person a couple of weeks ago, and here you are today. I believe you. How do you not have tickets? You're like this big-time lawyer, Harvard graduate running for politics. Come on. What are you, a Brooklyn Nets fan?
I know. No, Knicks all the way. Knicks in 5. We're going to get it done. Wemby was on fire last night, but I'm confident the Knicks are going to make it happen tomorrow night. It's going to be Miracle in Manhattan. We're going to get it done with the Knicks, and we're going to get it done with this race that I'm running in New York 12. You heard it here first.
I believe you. Well, tonight the Democrats are going to debate at my alma mater. I graduated from Baruch College, and the 5 of them are going to be there. And I guess I mentioned some of the names. Again, Kellyanne's ex-husband, that psycho George Conway, and Jack Schlossberg, that terrible Kennedy kid, and Alex Boris, I guess, is a big name. I don't know who he is, but these are the big Democrat names you'll be running against. So I guess you'll be watching that tonight?
Oh, yeah, we'll be monitoring the situation. But I have to say, Sid, each of these people represent the same failed thinking that has led New York City into its spiral of decline. And the people on the ground, the voters of New York 12, they know this. And if they're open-minded in November at the ballot box, they will vote for us, because at the end of the day, what I'm doing, Sid, is not even political. It's about common sense. It's about voting common sense over crazy. And we just have to take a look around at the status quo to see what's going on. From the out-of-control taxes to the out-of-control regulatory burdens to the out-of-control rent, out-of-control cost of living, pro-criminal crime policies, condoning anti-Semitism, not to mention what the mayor is doing. You know, any one of these things would be intolerable, but altogether, it's completely crazy, and the people of New York 12 know this.
Oh, God, that was such a great little rant you just did, because you can't afford to go... No, I'm serious. You're smart. You can't afford to go Republican versus Democrat, because in 12, they're not just Democrats, and I hate to say this about these your potential constituents, they're lunatics, okay? Anybody who votes Jerry Nadler into office for as long as he was in office, and I lived up there. I lived on 104th Street and West End Avenue for years, so I know some of these people. They despise me because I am MAGA, so you can't approach this election from that standpoint. The way you're doing it, common sense and enough of the dirt and the filth and the crime and the taxes. I got news for you. You walk north of 96 and Broadway up towards Columbia, and I'm not exactly sure where your district is, but you're putting your own life into your hands, so I think you're approaching it the right way.
100%, Sid, and it's about improving New Yorkers' quality of life through economic empowerment rather than destroying and taxing away any hope of a future here in the city, which is exactly what the mayor is doing. The mayor really said at the end of the day, he's at war. He's at war with us, yes, but he's at war with prosperity. He's at war with New York's tax base. He's at war with success. He's at war with wealthy constituents, and he's at war with common sense. So it's about reversing that trend line. And we have to remember that this district, New York 12, did not vote for Mamdani in November. A lot of people don't realize that. So people were looking for an alternative, a viable alternative option. And that's what I'm going to give people on the ballot in November, a real, viable, quality alternative option to the crazy socialism and anti-Semitism coming out of the left right now.
I didn't know they don't vote for him. So where exactly is New York 12? Give me the geographical rundown of that, please.
Yes, it covers the Upper West Side as well as the Upper East Side, all the way down through all of Midtown down to 14th Street. So it's a pretty large swath of Manhattan and Roosevelt Island. We got to give Roosevelt Island some love.
Well, how about that? That is big. I used to love to take the tram over to Roosevelt Island. First, I'd go to Serendipity, have a nice ice cream, and then go to Roosevelt Island. And you know, you're talking about taxes and the economy, and you know your stuff, Caroline, because this is a very impressive lady, folks. Trust me, and I've met her. and she's lovely. But she went to MIT, graduated, Harvard graduated. She's an attorney in a huge international law firm here in New York City. She's a member, like my wife Danielle is, of the New York, Washington, D.C., Ohio, Massachusetts, and U.S. Supreme Court bars. Very impressive. But you've also worked at the Fed, the Federal Reserve, and other central banks around the world. So you know about money and the economy, unlike this doofus mayor.
I do, Sid, and this is the center of global capitalism. We're the center of global enterprise on planet Earth. And wouldn't it be nice to have a congresswoman for once who actually understands economics and how private markets work?
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what New York City needs right now. And my candidacy is ultimately about creating the conditions for all of us in New York 12 and across the country to thrive as never before. So my objective when elected is going to be to enable your personal American dream through applied, unbridled financial prosperity. And I've got a plan to get this done. I'll just give your listeners a sneak peek, and that is we're going to protect the paycheck. We're going to drive down the cost of money. We're going to cure inflation, and we're going to balance the budget, and we're going to rev the great American engine of economic enterprise. And it's going to be an incredible turn of events here in the city, but I think across the country too. Each one of these elements on its own will have a positive arithmetic impact on opportunity and lowering the cost of living, but all together, they're going to deliver exponential impacts. So by electing me, we will have entered a new era of prosperity where not only will you have the capacity to build your own life and support your own family, but you'll be able to direct newfound resources to support whatever cause or issue you choose. That's the American dream. And I would invite all your listeners to visit my website, CarolineForNewYork.com, to learn more.
Have you run before for anything?
This is my first time running for national office. I've been involved in politics for most of my life, but I've been, working hard, keeping my head down in the private sector, building my career, as you mentioned, here in Manhattan in law, but then before that in central banking at the Federal Reserve in Washington, but also around the world. I spent time at the Bank of Israel in Jerusalem, which had a profound impact on me. Also spent time at the European Central Bank in Frankfurt and the Bank for International Settlements in Basel. So really understanding financial regulation. And I think we have to look at the Federal Reserve and the central bank in general as a tool to help the American worker build prosperity. We have to get back to that place. And I've got a plan to do that. So I look forward to representing all of you in Washington, D.C. when we make this happen in November. It's really the modern day Manhattan project, Sid.
I think you're too smart for this job. I think you should call Kevin Warsh and see if you can work with him right away at the Fed. I know you worked under Stanley Fisher at the Bank of Israel in Jerusalem. Seriously, you are one impressive. Now, I met you at the parade, right? The Israel Day Parade?
That's right. I was proudly marching as you were. What a great day. And
you're not even Jewish. When I always say that that makes my heart warm. It's easy for me, Sidney Rosenberg, to march, but when Caroline Shinkle, who's not even Jewish, marches in the parade and works for the Bank of Israel and lives in Jerusalem for as long as you did, that's really impressive. Caroline, I love you. I really do. I'll do whatever I can to help you win. You are an amazing candidate. I speak to a lot of candidates. You are ready to go. So congratulations. We'll do this again very, very soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Sid. You're the best.
Look who's talking. God bless you. Caroline Shinkle right there. Man, she's impressive.
Thanks for listening to Sid and Friends in the Morning. You can hear Sid and Friends in the Morning weekday mornings at 6. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?